Hello and welcome to Getting to Good Enough, a podcast to help you let go of perfectionism so you can do more of what you love. I'm Shannon Wilkinson, a life coach in Portland, Oregon. I'm a recovering perfectionist who's getting better at good enough.
And I'm Janine Adams, a certified professional organizer in St. Louis, Missouri, and I'm lucky enough to be naturally good at good enough.
And today we're talking about starting simple, something I need to do more of.
Too. I enjoyed spending the day with you on Zoom, or much of the day.
It was very fun. Having our virtual retreat together.
Yes, that was excellent. I wish we could do it every day.
Yeah, well, and also sometimes in person.
Right, and yeah. And if we did it every day, we wouldn't be able to do anything else. So maybe I don't wish that, but
but it was fun, and it was very productive, I felt.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we did sneak in a few conversations about television, but generally speaking, We stayed on topic and it was helpful. We helped each other.
And I think actually the virtual retreat is a good example of how to start simply because, originally we talked about, I think it was your brilliant idea of taking a couple of days to, go somewhere where we would both travel somewhere and have a in-person retreat to sort of think through how we wanted to use our respective YNAB coaching degree or certifications degrees. We're now professors of YNAB.
We're graduates, yes.
And that started to get really complicated. And so then we came up with this simple way of doing it, which was just spending a day talking and working together virtually on Zoom.
Yeah, it was so disappointing that we weren't able to, find flights that met our criteria, our simple criteria, which is I think we just needed it to be a place where both of us could get to nonstop.
Correct.
You'd think between St. Louis and Portland, and the other criterion was it had to be a reasonable price.
Right.
Those two things did not work out.
Yeah. Or if they did, it was like a short flight, like an hour flight for one of us and a 5-hour flight for the other one.
Right. Yeah, it's crazy. So we dropped that fairly quickly after 10 or 15 minutes of frustration and came up with a more simple solution.
Yes.
And it did work out nicely.
Yeah, it did. And then in all of our discussions today, I kept finding myself bringing it back to, let's keep it simple. I don't have to figure it all out to begin with.
That's right. That's right. We're launching our YNAB coaching practices, and there's so much we could do, and it could take a long time to get started if we did everything, and it could also feel very overwhelming. And you and I have been around the block once or twice, so we know that starting simple will allow us to actually get started.
Yes, absolutely. And also, even if it's relatively easy for you to come up with a more complex plan, things don't actually work out that way a lot of the time.
It's so true, right? Yeah, the more complex the plan, the more likely it's not going to work out, right?
Yeah, I mean, it depends on what you're doing, but in the cases of, service-based business, where there's a lot of things at play, and particularly where we're both in a position of really sort of getting to dictate how we want to do something, we have to start doing it in some way to figure that out. Like, we can take some guesses, but we don't know until we start doing it.
Right. Yeah. And by starting simply rather than implementing a complicated plan, we're leaving room for organically changing the way we do things as we learn more about how this is going to work out for us.
Yes. Yeah. And I think this concept is so valuable to consider, like, in pretty much everything you do. I don't know. I was just thinking about, like, what are some of the things I struggle with the most? Like my closet. Mm-hmm. Everyone's heard about my closet way more than they should. But starting simple is so great. Like, I don't have to figure out how my whole closet. I can just go in and be like, oh, here's 2 things that I'll never wear again, and donate them.
Right. And then it started.
Yeah.
And you build on it. Yeah, I was thinking about, I don't know if this exactly applies, but it does in my mind. When I bought my most recent car, I eliminated all the choices by buying what you had.
Right.
And that was complicated enough, right? Because at the time it was hard to find a car. So, but if I were considering all cars or even all electric cars, it would have been much more difficult than it was.
Yeah. Yeah. That is one of my key tactics for making decisions easier is narrowing down the options. So, making that simple so that you're not having to consider everything.
It's reminding me of what you mentioned in another episode. I have no idea what the episode was, but I'll find it for the show notes, where you talked about when you built your most recent house, how you had the designer, the contractor, somebody?
Yeah, the contractor
present you with 3 choices for things like faucets and finishes and stuff, right?
Yes.
Am I remembering that correctly?
Yep, you are.
I thought that was genius. I've told clients about that. I just think that's great.
Yeah, it made things so much easier. And he knew, the house I was building is for it was purpose built to be a rental property, and it's in a desirable neighborhood in Portland, and so I wanted it to look high end and be durable.
Mm-hmm. That's a potentially tough combination.
Yeah, and so give him that information, like that's what I'm looking for, and give me 3 choices. Do not send me into the plumbing fixture store and say pick out a faucet. Right. Because that just makes my brain hurt thinking about it.
It's my idea of a nightmare.
Yes.
Absolutely. I'm fortunate in that Barry and I have such different taste that we are our choices are very limited, because the things that we both like there are very few things we both like.
The Venn diagram of Barry's taste and Janine's taste has a very little sliver there in the middle.
It works very well, actually. When we renovated our kitchen, it worked very well.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I am so overwhelmed by choices. So I was so grateful for your guidance on when I bought my car, and I love it. So that worked out well. Made the car buying experience in October or September of 2021, which was a tough time to buy a car, made it so much better.
Yeah, that was a tough time to buy a car. It's so weird to think about now.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think it's like pre-pandemic simple yet.
Mm-hmm. Right.
But, that was especially tough time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and even in situations where you kind of know where you're headed, like you have an overall plan or you have a goal or, you have some sort of direction, the idea of starting simple still holds, because, sometimes knowing that bigger goal can make it feel a little overwhelming or make it hard to start.
Mm-hmm. Oh, absolutely. And I think sometimes people have a natural tendency to overcomplicate things. Mm-hmm. And when you can recognize that, when maybe it's a feeling of feeling overwhelmed, or you just look at this list of all these steps, maybe pausing and thinking, wait, is this the simplest route to get from A to B? Mm-hmm. Are there some steps I could remove here? And can help you get started and keep going.
Yeah. Well, and I think too, from a perfectionism standpoint, it's really easy to want to have everything figured out up front, or it's very common to want to have everything figured out up front so that you know that you are doing the right steps in the perfect order. And, like we started with, that isn't necessarily the case. That's not necessarily how reality works. And also that can, again, make it hard to start.
Yeah. Yep.
It puts a lot of pressure on you.
So easy to get paralyzed at that point, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really is. It really is. And so that was the thing that I kept reminding myself of today. Like, well, so what's the simplest way I could do this? What's the simplest next step?
Yeah, and we came up with, each of us came up with plans for our next steps that feel doable.
It feels doable, and also it feels useful. Like, it's not like a simple step that doesn't get me closer to where I want to go. It does get me closer to where I want to go, and it feels doable, and puts me in a situation where I can get information to know what my next steps might be.
Right. Yay.
Yeah. And I think that's another thing to think about, is that that first simple step to get you started will give you more information so that you can choose your next step and your next step. That sometimes it's hard to know what all the steps might be until you start moving.
Yeah. I mean, you can guess, but guessing doesn't help necessarily.
Right. Yeah. Well, but that's if you don't know, guessing can be a way to start simple.
Okay. Fair enough.
Because you need more information, and the only way you'll get more information is by if you start and you get some feedback in some way.
That's right.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, it's really about what barriers do you need to take away to allow you to start. And I think ease, let it be easy, let it be simple, and figuring out some way that you can just start gets you over that hurdle and creates some momentum.
Right. Yeah. I mean, you've talked a lot about over the years about the smallest thing, taking the tiniest step just to get the momentum rolling. And if you're starting a brand new project like we are, I don't think we were so overwhelmed that we had to come up with a teeny tiny step, but the step we both come up with is very accessible. And
yes.
it's gonna lead to the next step, which is really great.
Right. But I sort of have the end plan that I have is essentially the same idea that I've had throughout this whole process for weeks. But I kept thinking like it wasn't enough, or it wasn't how I wanted to do things, forever, or what if it wasn't the perfect way to do it, or what, there all these what ifs were coming in that was preventing me from just getting started.
And you got rid of that.
Yep.
Yay.
Yeah. I know, it's exciting because, more YNAB.
I know, right?
But it really is a good reminder for other things too. I'm looking at, I was out of town for a number of days, and I'm looking at a stack of mail on my desk. And, I don't have to know what to do with everything that I don't know what's in the pile. It's like in my brain somehow I feel like I need to know how to handle everything when I don't even know what's in there.
And you might need a large chunk of time in order to accomplish that.
Yeah, but I can just start with a simple step of opening the top envelope, or the simple step of flipping through it really quickly and recycling anything that's obvious junk mail, or, whatever simple step feels simple to you. I think that's another important thing, is to recognize that what feels simple to one person may not feel simple to another.
Oh, that's so true, isn't it? And and sometimes there's emotions and well, sometimes it's just capabilities, but sometimes it's an emotional thing that I find with clients. Stuff that we love doing to them is like climbing a mountain.
Right.
Yeah. And so I would never say to a client, "What's the matter with you? This is simple."
Yeah.
That would not be good.
No. No. But I think, especially for people who tend to be perfectionistic, it's good to remember simple isn't simple for everyone. So find what's simple for you.
Mm-hmm. That's good.
Yeah. So we would love to hear from you, our listeners. How do you find it simple to start? How do you find your simple step? You can let us know on Facebook or Instagram at Getting to Good Enough. You can head over to gettingtogoodenough.com and leave a comment in the show notes. You can give us a call at 413-424-GTGE. That's 4843. And tell us all about it. Until next time, this is Shannon Wilkinson in Portland, Oregon.
And Janine Adams in St. Louis, Missouri.
And we hope that good enough is getting easier for you. I think the simple idea is generating so much excitement. It's like, it seems counterintuitive.
It's true, though. Absolutely. I'm very excited. Yeah.
Me too.